What's going on, everybody? My name is Daniel Rodriguez, and welcome back to the Weekly Spoke podcast. I know we've been on a hiatus for a little bit, mostly because we've been busy with the SD Bike Summit, which happens a week, maybe 2 weeks ago now, if you're going to be listening to this. And that was really fun, had some great time. We'll definitely be posting some photos and maybe some videos of that event here shortly. But we're back on track here. I'm by myself as far as host today. Unfortunately, Elizabeth got sick with COVID, so speedy recovery for her. But nonetheless, I do have an awesome topic to talk about, actually. I do have a special guest here today. And his name is Ricky Alvarez, right?
Ricardo Juarez.
Oh, Ricardo Juarez. My bad.
Everybody knows me as Ricky here in the cycling community.
Awesome, Ricky. Well, welcome, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Who are you and what do you do?
So, I'm, again, my name is Ricardo Juarez. I am the current leader of the Awarewolfs. I host these rides called the Full Moon Rides and a couple races here in San Diego. Of course, these races are not sanctioned, but they are fun for everybody to come out and watch and have a good time.
Nice, man. And so you grew up in San Diego and you've been cycling pretty much your entire life?
Correct. Yeah, my dad used to race at national levels over there in Mexico back in the 70s, so that's how I got introduced to cycling. When I was a kid, he's the one that taught me how to ride, fix bikes, all that jazz, and went from there. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to ride a little BMX bike.
Yeah.
When I got pretty tall, I was like about 5'8", 5'9" already by the age of like 10. And so I started grabbing his bikes. He had a bunch of Peugeot, which I still have, in the garage, and started riding from there and rode through sometimes in middle school, sometimes in high school. Of course, I had to stop for a while because my weight wasn't really helping my riding out a bit. But then back in 2009, I got back into shape. Cycling helped me out, and now here I am.
Nice, man. Nice. So what type of cycling do you like to do? I see you have like this nice little beer cruiser, but is that your preferred mode of transportation?
This is now my preferred transportation. I used to ride fixed gear all the time.
Yeah.
But of course, when it comes to age, your body parts are not the same.
Yeah.
Especially myself, since I played baseball in high school. I got a few line drives on my knees, so my knees are not 100%. So, but fixed gear did help out, but now I'm more of a kind of like a vintage mountain bike person.
Yeah,
I still have my Shirley, still have my track bikes. I still race at the track occasionally. But yeah, I mean, that's my little baby right there.
Nice. I like that because I feel like the 80s, 90s mountain bikes are coming back, and people are like spending a little more money into them.
Correct. I'm loving that they're not destroying them or throwing them away, and they're just refurbishing them.
Exactly. That was cool, man. Sweet. So you mostly cruise with that bike, and you also work at a bike shop, right?
Correct. I worked at San Diego Cyclery, formerly known as Pacific Beach Bikes.
Okay.
We currently changed our name about a year ago, but I've been there in the business for about 10 years now as a GM and head of mechanic.
Oh, very cool. You guys been pretty busy, or are you guys expecting to get busy for the summer?
Correct. Yeah, we've been busy with service. Bike sales are a little rough right now. Most people that work in a bike shop probably know about that, but it's kind of hard to get stuff in inventory still.
Cool. So tell me a little bit of like the history, man. Like you said, you've been cycling here in San Diego for a while. Like how much has changed from your perspective as far as like infrastructure, maybe even like culture as well? Like what do you have to say about that?
So I mean, growing up my dad used to ride, so I was always on his rear riding in the streets. There was no bike lanes. There was really hardly any wide streets as we have nowadays. But we always try to take the back streets, which I currently still do. Like, even though we have these wonderful bike lanes, I use them occasionally from here to there. Like North Park, for example, that's a good section between Upis and Adams.
Yeah.
But still, like from commuting from South Park, where I currently stay, to North Park, I try to take like 32nd the side streets. The streets that he taught me how to use.
Yeah, I agree with you. They're a little quieter too, like not too much traffic.
Correct.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
I guess what's always interesting to me though is like people know that 30th Street, like people driving know that 30th Street is always going to be packed, but they never take the side streets, you know? So I'm like, whenever I drive, if I ever drive, which is rare, I always take the back streets.
Yeah, it's just quieter and a lot calmer, and but yeah, less traffic is always my key. Even on hosting some rides and stuff, I always try to get people to go to the less traffic streets.
Yeah.
But it's quieter.
That's good. Yeah, because like since you work in PB as well, how's that like routes just to get from South Park to PB? Is it pretty easy or is it challenging, like just getting through traffic?
So I take a lot of side streets. I used to go downtown and stuff, and then take Harbor, but there's been a few near misses.
Yeah.
But I currently just take Upis, like to the back streets of Hillcrest, and then Presidio.
Go down Presidio.
So the only section I kind of get that's kind of iffy will be Pacific Highway going to SeaWorld Drive, Fiesta Island.
Cool. Awesome, man. So yeah, you said you're the leader, or were you like the sole leader, or you guys like had like collaboration to start their Awarewolfs, or how did the Awarewolfs kind of start, or what's that group about?
So Charlie Steers started Awarewolfs back in 2010 or so, and he's been he was the leader. He was the leader from that era between 2010 to 2015ish, and of course I was joining his full moon rides from there. And then in 2015, I believe, 14, 15, that's when he moved to New York for a job opportunity, which is awesome. And then I forgot who took over for a while, but I kind of started seeing the full moon rides go from 30 riders to 20 riders, 8 riders, and then eventually it was just me and one other guy.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, I can't let this die out.
Yeah.
So that's when I called up Charlie, and when he was in New York, I'm all like, hey, the full moon ride, I think this was in 2015. Actually, it was full strawberry moon, actually, in 2016.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And it was the exact same route we took last week. Hit him up, and I'm like, hey, the Awarewolfs full moon ride is kind of dying out, so how about can I lead it and try it out and see how it goes from there? And he said, sure. And turnout was about 30 riders, and he liked it. And he asked me if I could take over while for the rides and stuff. And then eventually he came back to San Diego, and he kept telling me to just take over and over and over. But now the cool thing is that he's actually going in the Awarewolfs back again and helping out with like the website stuff, the apparel. We got new jerseys, new shirts, and all that. Because I mean, of course, he's pretty good at kind of like talking to people and all that.
Good connections with them.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
I'm more of a getting organized rides, races, and stuff.
That's nice. Yeah, it's really cool that you guys are able to collaborate, because I'm sure it's very difficult to manage a group like that, especially if you want to like do apparel and all this other cool gear, you know, yeah.
Yeah, I'm always, in the group rides, I'm always asking people, because I kind of call it the people's ride.
Yeah.
I always ask suggestions. Where do you guys want to go? What do you guys want to do? Where do you guys want to race? Et cetera, et cetera.
And it's definitely, sorry to interrupt, but yeah, it definitely seems like the people's ride. And that's why I mean, I can't remember the first time I went to a Awarewolfs ride, but I think that was like the first group ride I've been whenever I moved back down to San Diego. And I didn't know anyone, but it was mostly like fixed gear kids, you know, which I was part of that scene at that point. But I like how it's grown as well. It's included a lot more different other cyclists and a lot more people who like during the pandemic were trying to find outlets to like do something aside from like being inside the house. And I don't know, like at least that's from my experience, like what I've seen. It's awesome to see how large, of a community you guys have been able to grow as well. So
yeah, and that is correct. And then that's also another misconception about the ride. It started off as fixed gear, but I mean, it wasn't never officially a fixed gear only ride.
Yeah,
anybody's always welcome, but it still has that kind of like vibe where people are like, oh, it's a fixed gear only, but anybody on the bike. I mean, we had a person on a skateboard show
I saw that
last Tuesday, which is awesome. She had a fun ride and she loved it, and hopefully she comes back in the future.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. I think I do remember seeing that. Like they're on a skateboard, like one of those one wheels as well, like the new modern form of transportation. Awesome, man. So tell us a little bit about like also these races that you guys throw or that you organize. Like, where did that inspiration come from, or why did you guys want to start doing some of those?
So I was, and still currently is, a big fan of a person from LA known as Don. He used to host the Wolfpack Hustle rides and races. And that's kind of where I kind of got the idea to throw these underground type of races. I mean, seeing, was it 2013, 2012, San Diego native Joe Celso winning the marathon crash race kind of like inspired me to like, yeah, I got to get on the bike and start doing these races and rides and racing at the track.
Yeah.
So she was kind of like my inspiration on racing and doing these races and stuff. And but yeah, I mean, that's where it all started. And Charlie only had he had a few races, which was duels. And then he had the costume crit, which the costume crit is still going on every Halloween.
Yeah.
But then I started throwing in other races that kind of I inspired from other places in the United States and kind of like my unique areas. Everybody loved the Ghetto Drome.
Yeah, that was a really cool one.
That was a good one. That one started actually in PB.
Oh, really?
From one of my friends, and I asked him, I'm like, hey, can I get the idea? But this time, instead of throwing it in PB, throw it in Balboa Park. And
where was it thrown in Pacific Beach?
It was thrown in a parking lot.
Okay.
I think it was called the Jetty.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a little bit more dangerous, of course, because there's beach sand on the parking lot. So I was like, and that's the other thing. When I throw these races, I always consider safety first. Like,
oh, for sure.
I always tell people, race on your own risk, know your limits. If you cannot do this, then kind of like stop and then go from there.
Oh, for sure. So we're talking about races, Ricky, and I want to talk about the most recent race, which I think was the hill sprints, right?
Correct.
Cool. So I didn't go, but I saw a lot of awesome footage, a lot of awesome photos from that race. Can you tell us a little bit about like some of the atmospheres that you guys put on as far as like racing goes and the type of people that show up?
So it depends on the race. That's the amount of people that come out and actually race, but it's always fun to watch. I always try to make these races where they have a really good point of view. For example, the hill sprints, the top of the hill was probably the best view, and watching these guys go up B Street, which a lot of people have not even tried it and never succeeded.
I mean, it's pretty intimidating, you know, especially if you're standing on the very bottom or the top.
Correct. Like, yeah. Especially when you're like standing on top and you look down, it's like, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Do you know the angle, like the grade?
I think it's 15 degree.
Oh, 15. Okay.
15, 16 or something like that.
Damn.
That's what they were saying.
That was like 20 for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. But there was 6 fixed gear, 6 road, and then I threw the women's race as well.
Yeah.
And then the cleats race where I had
guys.
Yeah,
I saw them. They were sprinting up the hill.
Yeah, they're sprinting up the hill with their cycling cleats.
No, it's super cool.
That's kind of like a halftime show right there.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I like the fact that you guys are also inclusive in the fact that you're throwing women's races and stuff like that. Like, I'm sure it's challenging to like get more women out there. Like, how do you guys plan on like inspiring women to compete at a local level?
Yeah, I mean, I always try to throw a race in there for the women and women's category. I also, like the last Carpillo sprints, I threw in a frame as a grand prize.
That was cool.
And also, I don't remember exactly how much, but I think it was $300 or $200 of my tips of the month.
Really?
From the working at the bike shop, I just threw that. I mean, getting more prizes and stuff out there is always a good help. But yeah, I mean, I would like to see more women come out and participate in the races. But yeah, I always try to get the word out as much as possible.
Yeah.
With enough time, of course. And yeah, I mean, it's always fun. It's always fun to watch people out there racing.
Oh, for sure. I mean, especially if you're like competing for $300, sometimes that's some good money right there, some beer money, or some food money, or whatever you want to spend it on.
And that's the cool thing about the atmosphere too. It's like some of the people that come out, they're like, oh, well, I got extra $20, so they throw that in there, or they throw $5 or whatever. I mean, again, this what I see that Werewolves is the people's rides and the people's races.
Yeah, and I like that too because I have noticed that it's like it's not just yourself and the rest of the werewolves like putting down their money or like their own resources, but yeah, a lot of people that just go to the rides or go to the races, like they'll bring $5, $20, they'll be like, cool, like is this this is something that they care about, so it's nice to see people actually investing or reinvesting back into stuff like that.
Correct. And then one more thing that I loved about the hill climbs was the fact that we were all out there doing our thing, and the surrounding neighbors they came out.
Really? They came out,
and they enjoyed it. And of course, I respectfully go after them after the race and be like, hey, thank you for letting us host this race here. And they're like, oh, we loved it. Our kid loved it. There was a little girl running around in the house right next to the hill, and she loved it. So that always puts a smile on my face.
That's cool. Yeah, I never really considered that. It's like I feel like whenever I go to these rides, I always think about the cyclists. But yeah, there's definitely an impact for a lot of community members that like don't bike, but they see people cycling and they're like, oh man, this looks really cool. Like, I mean, even I can remember like countless amount of times riding with you guys for the full moon rides. Maybe I'll be in the back and maybe we're stopped at a stop sign and someone walking the sidewalks like, hey, what's up with this group ride? Like, and I always tell them like, yeah, it's the Werewolves. Check them out on Instagram. They're always throwing group rides every single month, and I feel like some people might come, but some people might not come. But I don't know. I just love spreading the word of like, hey, there's something cool going on like every single month with these guys. Like, San Diego, I feel like is very what's the term I'm looking for? Damn, I'm blanking out on the term here.
Like very, very open, like very.
Well, not so much open, but there's always something going on in the cycling community. I feel like, and like whenever people don't know what's going on, I'm like, oh, maybe there needs to be a better resource for people to, streamline all the races or group rides that are happening in San Diego.
Yeah. We have a little calendar on our website, which is theawarewolfs.com.
Okay.
It shows upcoming events and whatnots, rides and all that. I tend to carry around little flyers on the moon rides and hand them out to people. But I mean, of course, I'm trying to be a little bit more green nowadays.
Yeah.
I started creating like a little mini QR code, and people could just scan, and then it pops up our website.
Sweet. Yeah, that's really good. So if let me check out the website here actually. So you got a bunch of stuff. This is where people could go get like jerseys and check out other.
Correct.
Cool
it has our store right there. It has past pictures, the flyer for the next upcoming full moon rides.
Nice.
Events, all that.
Cool. Yeah, make sure to check it out, everyone.
Also gives a little story on the background too.
Nice. So cool. I think the last question before we maybe call this wrap it up here is I do want to ask about the emotional support bike stickers. Who thought about that?
So those ones, I can't take a full credit on that, but it was an idea between myself and Jeff Magnus. We were just coming up with like sticker ideas, and one of these days I just thought about it. I'm like, wait a minute, I see these guys walking their dogs and stuff with the emotional support dog inside the stores, and I'm like, how come we can't just create a sticker that says emotional support bike?
Yeah.
And that actually was pretty funny, because after that I created the sticker, and then started walking to stores and showing people that sticker, and either they say that's not acceptable or they laugh about it and they just let me go in. The one store that gave me a lot of problems, of course, was Walmart right here on Imperial.
Really?
They're like, yeah. I walked in my bike and they're like, hey, you can't do that. And I was like, okay. And that kind of like started off the idea of the emotional support bike sticker. And then the following time, like a couple months later, I showed up with this, that, and then like I don't know. I guess that sticker makes it official or something, but.
I mean, I feel like the first time I saw it, I thought it was a cool sticker, and I was like, oh man, where can I get my hands on those? And I feel like a lot of people always ask, they're like, oh, it's a super cool sticker. So I don't know, do you guys have more? I guess?
Yeah, we are printing out some more,
cool.
More of those stickers, and then I'm currently working on another idea for stickers, which I know it's gonna blow up when it comes out. That would be a little surprise.
Yeah,
but that's gonna be. I think that's gonna be a hot item for the summer.
Nice. Is it as controversial as like the stickers I've been seeing? What's it called? I parked in the bike lane or something like that?
No, it's not
Okay.
nothing like that. It's more due towards racing. I can say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is it the FCI?
Yep. Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys don't know what that is, stay tuned or go follow the Awarewolfs on Instagram as well. They're always posting some cool stuff on there. Sweet, Ricky. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this up? Any upcoming events? or
Yeah,
anything like that?
the next full moon ride will be July 13th, which is on a
Okay.
Wednesday. I try to kind of collaborate with No Hands Wednesdays on that when that happens. But next month I'm gonna do something different. I'm going to probably start the ride on Balboa Park and then end up at the Golden Hill Rec Center to watch the local San Diego bike polo players play and have some people try it out for the first time.
Maybe I do have another question there. Then. So tell us a little bit about that bike polo too. Is like I know that you've been mostly posting about it, but I've yet to go because I've been taking the track classes on Wednesday.
Correct. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I started playing bike polo back in 2012. My polo name is funny. It's Fake Lefty. I'm a right-handed person, but I can only play bike polo left-handed for some odd reason. But yeah, I've been playing since 2012. It's a small little group here in San Diego that occasionally go out to tournaments around the U.S. There's one player that's been in tournaments around the world.
Oh wow.
Yeah, a lot of people know about it. So when they see us playing, they're like, "Oh, it's just a little game they came up with." But no, it's a pretty famous game around the world.
Yeah. Because like I don't think I've ever seen bike polo until. Well, I've seen bike polo online, but the first time I seen bike polo live was in Portland, and I was like, "Wow, this would be in Portland." But then I think this year you guys posted about it, and I was like, "Oh, damn! Like it's here in San Diego too." I'm like, "All right, that sounds pretty cool."
Yeah, we're on a hiatus, of course, because of COVID, and
Yeah.
we're trying to scout an area locally in the San Diego like middle area.
Mm-hmm.
We used to play Golden Hill Rec Center, of course, but then occasionally like they repaved it and they were like no more bike polo. But now we went back there, asked, and they said, yeah, you guys could play. So that's what we started playing again, right there in the rec center, basketball
Nice.
courts every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, cool. So full moon bike ride July 13th, and then every Wednesday bike polo at the Golden Hill Rec Center, right?
Correct.
Sweet, man. That sounds really cool. Well, Ricky, I want to thank you, man. Thanks for joining us. You're our first real external guest, I want to say, and it's unfortunate that Elizabeth missed this, but we'll definitely have more guests here on the podcast. Once again, guys, if you guys want more information about the Awarewolfs, follow them on social media or the website, theawarewolves.com, right?
Correct.
Awarewolves.com or the Awarewolves on Instagram as well. I already said that. It's all right. Dana Rodriguez, once again, if you guys forgot, this was the Weekly Spoke. I think this is episode 7 or 8. I kind of lost track. We've been really busy. But make sure you guys follow us on social media. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Spotify to be updated on any new episodes. We have tons of awesome events as well this upcoming summer, so we'll be putting those on blast as well on social media or on email. But yeah, get out there, ride your bike. It's been beautiful here in San Diego, so I can't complain. And do something cool every day, man. Aside from that, Dana Rodriguez out. See you guys next time. Adios.